Hi, it's Jeff Chalmers here from discoverdouble-bass.com, which is the home of online learning for double bass players. We're at the 2023 ISB convention in beautiful Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we've been asking the bass players a series of questions. This question is, if you could take a lesson with any living bass player, who would it be?
Maybe I'm feeling a little inspired from the convention, but definitely Mark Dresser would be who I would like to take a lesson from. There's so much to ask him, and
He's a huge influence in the bass world, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
and beyond,
oh yeah. No, he's the way that he talks and thinks about the sounds of the bass, and I mean it's like a totally different instrument. Honestly, it's beautiful. Yeah.
He's not here at this convention. I've always wanted to spend an hour with John Patitucci.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. Who wouldn't? And yeah, actually, I've been thinking about that a lot lately because there's just so many good bass players from different styles and different techniques and different ideas, and just I want to spend an hour with all of them. Actually, if I were to pick one bass living right now, that would probably be John Patitucci, though. That's who I'd want to spend an hour with.
Ron Carter, 100%.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I don't believe he's doing many in-person lessons, but I'd like to plug the fact that he's doing Zoom lessons, and I do encourage anybody to get with him and do that. I'm remiss that I didn't get together with him in person, but I will also be signing up for Zoom lessons with Mr. Ron Carter.
Yeah, I mean, he's the maestro. He's the living legend. Great choice. Yeah, so I'd love that as well.
I'll tell you, all these young people, I'm learning more from them. I mean, I haven't heard a performance yet that I didn't learn something from today. So it would be difficult to pin down any one particular person, because every event that I've attended, I've come away with something I didn't know. So it's very exciting for me.
Well, I guess I'd be Ron Carter because, I mean, there's so many great ones to study with, but, Ron's getting up in age, and I always wanted to take a lesson with him, and I love him as a person, too, so.
Well, he's a maestro, isn't he?
He really is.
Yeah, we all got a lot of love for Ron Carter.
That's right.
It's going to be something, I don't know, I can't say somebody specific, but something in a style of music that I know nothing about.
Something new.
I just want to learn something new, Like I went to the class the other day of the guy who was talking about a whole system of Arabic tuning and everything. And it's like, oh my God, I can't go down that rabbit hole because I'll be there for forever, you know what I mean? But something like that.
Yeah, Hagai Bilitzky is a wonderful, wonderful person.
That's a tough one. I mean, Edgar Meyer instantly comes to mind. I've had the opportunity to meet him many times, and every time I do, every question I have for him just goes out of my head. And so I'm actually seriously starting a list of questions I want to ask him next time I talk to him. So I think that would be great, just to get a chance to kind of pick his brain for an hour. He probably comes to mind.
I think I saw that you were at one of his concerts the other day, and
yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I've seen him twice in the last 2 months, I think, which is fantastic.
What is it you love about Edgar's playing?
It's just so effortless and free, and I love his compositions as well. And I just love what he's done for the bass. I think he's really kind of pioneered this concept of a performer-composer. We have incredible music written for us now. We have incredible music written for us in the past. But, it's personally... I don't know if I would really feel at home the rest of my career playing Dragon Eddy or, there's great pieces, but, there's thousands of people playing them. So I love this idea that we can create our own music and play music that's near and dear to our hearts and champion that through our playing. And so that's one of the things I really love about him, his playing and his career.
Yeah, he's a shining light in the bass world, isn't he? That's for sure.
Of course.
Who might you like to spend an hour with to kind of pick their brains?
I could not narrow that down.
Oh, there's so
I
many.
steal from everybody that I possibly can.
That's great.
And there's some phenomenal players in our world.
Yes.
So I could not narrow that down to one person.
Oh my gosh. Wow. One that just kind of came to mind because I heard him at a concert in Denmark, but Anders Jormin.
Yes.
Because he does these kind of these things with his bow that I would love to incorporate into some of my solos I don't know how it would incorporate, but he's got these different sounds that he makes. I would love to talk with Jorge Roederer.
Oh yeah, here later this week as well.
I know, but I have to leave before, so that's a drag. But I would love to talk to him about his Afro-Peruvian grooves.
Yes.
and solidifying in myself where that sits, because I have been fascinated for years with that.
Yes.
And just those people that can play with the time and that sense of keeping that pulse so they can maneuver towards all kinds of waters and it never phases them.
Wow.
I would love to talk to him more about that.
Well, they are two of my favourite bass players. And Anders Jorman, he's worked with the Bobo Stenson Trio, and the videos that they have of them in the woods. And,
Yeah, and he's a sweetheart.
Is he? I've never met him. So
You have to.
Oh, I'd love to.
He's wonderful.
that's
Just down
cool.
to earth. We're bass players, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fabulous.
Well, somebody that I've had a chance to get together and who I always enjoy getting together is Mr. Ron Carter, and there's a lot of wisdom there. Let's see. I just heard John Petitucci at Birdland, and he completely blew me away. So I would love to sit down with him and chat. Gary Karr for sure, and. Well, that's a good start.
Yeah,
those are definitely three of my heroes.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
mine too.
people that are still have a huge impact on me.
Well, honestly, I mean, I know that I study with Paul, but I think one of my favorite teachers that I really want to spend more time with is Nick Walker.
Great answer.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
Nick.
I love that he has a dual jazz, classical, like folk music background. I mean, I just love to pick his brain. Like he went to Europe, he studied a bunch of stuff with the Berlin Phil, and he's just very knowledgeable about everything. He's a beautiful player, but I would love to work with him more.
Do you play his chorale or any of his compositions?
You know, I actually haven't, but that might be something I'm going to look into in the future for my recitals.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
I couldn't choose. There's no way I could choose. I mean, that's why you come to ISB, is because you don't have to choose. You can just walk up to anybody and ask them.
That's a great thing about this place, is that everybody is so accessible. The amount of people I've met through attending over the years, and we became friends, and probably online as well, but equally just being at these events.
Yeah, I think what I can tell you is that even though I don't play classical music, and I plan to learn when I retire to really play with the bow, I think I would choose a classical player because of the rigor in which they've studied the instrument and the detail that they have about technique. So,
just one person.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it's
afraid
so-
we're going to have to pin you down. Who comes to mind first? That's really what we're asking.
Well, I mean, so many of them are here
Yes.
this week, and I've spent time doing that with them, even just a moment here and there. So at this very moment, I feel that my cup is sort of running over with this. So given that reality for me, I'm really missing Yuri Slavik.
Yes.
Whenever I can be near him and feel how he moves through music and how music is integrated into his life and hear his sound and be around his energy, that's somebody that at past ISB conventions have like completely reshaped my starting point with music.
Probably Francois Rabath. I've never taken a lesson with him. People think I know about the Rabath technique. I know of it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've talked to Francois about it. Never had a lesson with him, never formally studied any of it. And it has to be a tie, because I've also never taken a lesson with Gary Karr. Two people I feel like I've learned so much from, watched, talked to, never had a lesson. Yeah. So I think that those are, it's gotta be a draw between those two. Gotta have two.
Two of the best.
I just saw Gary Karr here, and I would love to spend even a few minutes with him, just to, yeah, of course, because my teacher Michael Klinghoffer is his teacher, so.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes, so yeah, that would be amazing.
So you had a great experience studying with Michael Klinghoffer, who's such a wonderful artist and teacher. Were you with him for many years?
Oh yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah?
He's my first bass teacher. Yeah,
Wow.
my only bass teacher, yes.
I don't know what is happening in Israel. The standard of bass players that are coming out of that country is incredible, and I think a lot has to do with his teaching. So
It has
yeah.
to do with his teaching, and other people like JC, that was a teacher, JC Jones, that was a teacher when I was in the Jerusalem Academy. He was the head of the jazz department, and a lot of course, other amazing Israeli bass players and veterans.
Okay.
Wow. Well, if I don't get to say people that I've studied with previously, then I would love to play for Nina de Caesar.
Oh, wow.
She is one of my absolute heroes. She's just so inspirational. She walked onto stage the other night as the center stage performer at the ISB, and she was like a firebird.
Yes.
Just electrified the whole audience. and it's always really fun to listen to her talk and watch her play. I'm excited for the students at Peabody to get to work with her.
They're going to be having a great experience, and it's amazing seeing the work that she's doing. Great suggestion.
Another person that I would love to play for someday is Susan Cahill.
Yeah.
Yes, the new professor in Colorado.
And is she here this week? I was hoping that I would see her, but I've not
she's
seen
here.
her. So,
Yes. So
wow.
you gotta look around and you'll find her.
Cool. Two incredible people to work with.
Victor Wooten.
Wow, great answer. Great
Victor
answer.
Wooten. I just love this guy. Everything he says, I feel comes from my consciousness, from my soul, his whole spirit, his whole thing. We've never worked musically together, but his book, the music lesson and the follow-up book, is the identical stuff that I believe in and that I write about, but he does it in his own style, in his own way. And then I spent time with him in Cincinnati when he put this tour with Steve that we're going to hear tonight.
Yes.
He played that concert. And I didn't know he knew me that much, but we've done some Skype things together for Bass Camp.
Yes.
He was our Zoom guest. And he just, everything comes out of his mouth is just great. His perspective on everything. Why do we have to keep doing this a certain way?
Yes.
You know, who says you can't do something else? He opens the door, he opens the curtains, he gives you permission to validate whatever it is. And so, yeah, I'd like to make music with him and I like to study with him, and I haven't yet done it, but he would be on my bucket list.
Well, I had the pleasure of getting together with Frank Proto yesterday, and we journeyed across the field to find his sunglasses that he lost.
Oh, wow.
And we got like an hour together, and it's like he's such an inspiration for me, and I've played his music since childhood. And so, you know, getting the chance to just kind of hang out and talk about music and interpretation, that was amazing.
I hope that you enjoyed that insight from all of these wonderful players. Huge thanks to them, and of course the ISB for allowing us to film here in this wonderful music department in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And let us know who you would study with. Please join us in the comments, keep the conversation going, and we'll see you next time.